Ethnomusicology is a really important part of what we offer here at Durham. And in this short video, I'm just going to explain a little bit about why that is and how we approach the subject here. So the first thing to say is music study should be as diverse as musical practice. And we all know there are a huge variety of different kinds of musics around the world. And to understand music per se, we have to have some kind of a broad perspective on that. We should be open to studying any form of music. And by that I mean really seriously studying, not treating one kind of music as more important than others and dealing with others in a tokenistic way, but being very open and respectful and really wanting to study the full interest and importance of different kinds of music around the world. So some of the things we might ask looking at this great variety would be, well, what does vary? What differs between different kinds of musical expression around the world? But at the same time, what's common? What seems to be shared in the way human beings approach music making? And beyond those questions, what is at stake? I'm sure we all have particular kinds of music that we really value above all others. And why is that? Why does music seem to speak to our sense of who we are, our identity, the kind of place and community that we belong to? Why do we judge others on the basis of their music? I think this is a really important set of questions. So how we approach the topic here at Durham is, unlike many places, we don't start in level one simply with a kind of world tour, introduction to world musics, but we focus very much on skills. And that's because these skills are important and valuable however you approach music studies. So even if you don't take ethnomusicology modules at level 2 and 3, you can apply these skills, for example, to your historical musicology work or your analytical work. So first of all, ethnography, working with people. How do we observe people, maybe participating in music making while observing them? How do we interview people effectively? Secondly, transcription. How do we render music which is not already written into some sort of graphical form? And what are the options there? What are the pros and cons of different approaches? Thirdly, recording. Being able to make your own high quality recordings is a very important skill. And finally, and something which relates to all of the above, ethics. How do we do all of these different things in an ethical way with appropriate respect for the people we work with? Now, in the course of introducing these skills, of course, we also introduce diverse repertoires and different kinds of music making, which could be from any location, which could be classical or popular, or we might say elite or vernacular traditions. They could be religious or secular traditions. They could be very ancient or very modern kinds of music making. So really, anything goes in terms of subject matter. Now, before saying a little bit more about our curriculum, I just wanted to play a short musical example and point out a few things about how we might approach this in an ethnomusicological way. Now, here's a short clip of Indian music performance. The soloist here is called Manjari Asanari Kelkar. As you can see, this is a performance that we recorded in India a few years ago. Now, of course, studying this kind of music, we would be interested in the musical materials. What's the raga or melodic mode that's being sung? What's the tala or rhythmic cycle? In this case, it's a 7-beat cycle called rupak tala, if you want to play this back a few times and try and follow it. What's the form? What's the structure? How is the thing put together? But apart from that, we can focus on people. We can say, well, what's going on here in terms of people's interactions with each other and with the music, with each other through the music. So, how are people organized physically? How are they seated? How are they interacting with each other gesturally? What seems to be going on here? So I invite you to think about that while watching this short video clip, and then I'll make some quick comments afterwards. Okay, so as I say, just a short clip, but there's plenty even in this to think about. First of all, how are performers organized? You can see the singer Manjari is physically located at the center of the action, the center of the stage, and is managing the performance. So we can think about what she's doing and how she relates to her accompanists. So tabla player on the left, harmonium player on the right. How is she interacting with them? How is she managing the performance? And these two young women at the back playing this instrument called the tanpura. Well, I can bring in some contextual information here and say that there's actually a kind of, while she has a professional relationship with the two gentlemen at the front who are her accompanists, she is the teacher of the two girls at the back. So this is also a kind of a service from them to her, and a learning opportunity for them. So there's lots of interesting things to think about in terms of what's going on in stage. What about the gender aspect? What can we read into the fact we've got a female soloist and male accompanist, and so on? How are the performers interacting with each other and also with the audience? You would have noticed a certain amount of hand gesturing and a mirroring of hand gestures between the singer and audience members. What's going on there? I introduced a little bit of context already, but if we were there, we would be asking, where are we? What kind of place is this? What kind of event is this? Did people pay to come in? What kind of community do people come from? We'd ask what people understand about the performance. She's singing words, for example, that include a word for God, but this seems to be a secular concert performance. So how does that relationship between the religious and the secular work out? Do people all come from the same community in terms of their religion? These are all interesting questions we can ask, and the way that intersects with our understanding of the music and how it's put together is really, I think, the most exciting thing about the topic, the subject area of ethnomusicology. So getting back to the curriculum, as we work through levels 2 and 3, we obviously introduce you to more kinds of music and deeper perspectives in terms of ethnomusicological theory and method. But we also encourage you to combine perspectives and to combine our ethnomusicological approach with history, with analysis, with psychology, whatever else you're interested in. And we encourage you to think in terms of your own original investigation, original research projects, both as part of modules and as part of final year dissertations. And the dissertation is a great opportunity to put together a very substantial piece of work that might include your own ethnomusicological study, your own field work, recordings, analysis, and so on. We've had many fabulous final year dissertations within ethnomusicology. So that's about it. But before I go, I should let you know that amongst the many musical ensembles you can get involved in Durham, we have a fabulous Javanese gamelan set and a Korean percussion ensemble. If you want to know any more about our offering in ethnomusicology, please feel free to look us up on the website and send us an email. We'll be happy to answer any questions. Goodbye.